Hello everyone, I'm Slade, I'll be your host, and welcome to Star Wars Did You Know? In today's video, we're going to take a look at the Gladiator-class Star Destroyer, a small class of Star Destroyer designed by Walex Blissix during the Clone Wars. The design was proposed by Rendili's Star Drive to escort the larger Victory-class Star Destroyers. The proposed escort role for the Gladiator class would not come to fruition. At the conclusion of the Clone Wars, the newly formed Galactic Empire removed both the Victory and Venator classes of Star Destroyer from frontline service, placing both with the larger Imperator class, which would later be named the Imperial-class Star Destroyer. According to Imperial military doctrine, the Imperial class did not require an escort. Any such requirement would be filled by the fighters the ship carried. Given this, the Gladiator, which had expressly been designed to escort larger classes of Star Destroyer and protect them from fighter attacks, found itself without a role, and Rendili's design was abandoned. Despite being deemed superfluous by Imperial doctrine, the Gladiator-class Star Destroyer was not out of the fight yet. After the design was acquired by Kuat Drive Yards, it was repurposed as a long-range patrol craft. Its armament of light turbolasers, point defense lasers, torpedo and missile tubes, as well as tractor beams, made it an ideal craft for anti-piracy and anti-smuggling. In addition, it carried enough fighters and ground forces to deal with minor insurgencies. Because of these capabilities, the Gladiator class quickly found a new niche within the Galactic Empire. Rather than dedicate the resources necessary to bring a Victory or Imperial-class Star Destroyer into a sector of space that did not require the full might of the Empire, the smaller, medium cruiser-sized Gladiator could be dedicated to these regions of space, and serve both as a deterrent and as a flagship for smaller armadas within the Galactic Empire. While successful in the new role the Kuat Drive Yards had found for it, the Gladiator class still suffered from a fundamental problem. Its light armament, while suited to dealing with pirates, smugglers, and even minor insurgencies, could not withstand heavy combat against larger classes of warship. And as the Galactic Civil War escalated, Gladiator class quickly found itself unable to compete with the large warships being fielded by the Rebel Alliance. It is unknown exactly what happened to the Gladiator class once the Galactic Empire realized it was unsuited for frontline combat against larger rebel warships. However, we do know two things. First and foremost, that there were two designs of the Gladiator class. The initial design was the Kuat Drive Yards long-range patrol craft, designated as the Gladiator 1. A second design, the Gladiator 2, was introduced later on, improved weaponry and targeting systems. It's unknown exactly when this second design came online, however it can be supposed that as the Rebel Alliance gained in power, fielding larger and more powerful warships, the Gladiator 2 was built and designed to combat these larger warships in an attempt to keep the Gladiator class relevant. The second thing we know about the Gladiator's use by the Galactic Empire is in the form of the Broadside-class missile cruiser. This was a dedicated long-range attack platform specializing in missile combat that used the same hull type as the Gladiator class. It's unknown if these two designs served together, but it is possible that as the Gladiator class became less and less capable of serving on the front lines of the Galactic Civil War, that the Empire ceased production of the Gladiator class and instead dedicated the hull type to the new Broadside-class cruiser, which is more capable of serving the Empire in the ongoing civil war with the Rebel Alliance. Regardless of what ultimately happened to the Gladiator class as a whole, there is no denying that it served a vital purpose for the growing Galactic Empire. During the nearly 2 decades between the end of the Clone Wars and the Battle of Yavin, the Gladiator class served the Empire in a role that it much needed, interdicting pirates, smugglers, and serving to enforce the Empire's will on less contested areas of space so that larger warships could be used wherever the Empire deemed them necessary. Alright everyone, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe. There'll be more content coming. If you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, please do so. Every little bit helps. Until next time, this is your host Slade, and this has been Star Wars Did You Know?